Before attempting to track a number 5 belt conveyor, it is important to verify that the conveyor is properly tensioned. For the tensioning procedure, the conveyor must be turned off. Conveyor adjustments should only be made when the spreader is empty. First, measure the vertical distance from the bottom of the sill up to the conveyor in the front of the second stake from the front. This measurement should be 3 inches on both sides of the conveyor. If the conveyor is not properly tensioned, then loosen the front adjusting bolt jam nuts. Now turn the adjusting bolts until the proper conveyor measurement is achieved. Check the front idler pulley and make certain it is square with the conveyor bottom. Measure from the front of the bearing block to the front of the sill on both sides. These measurements should be equal during initial setup. Once the conveyor is properly tensioned and tracked, these measurements may be slightly different on each side. Once measurements have been verified and the tension is set evenly on both sides, tighten the front adjusting bolt jam nuts. The conveyor is now properly tensioned. Next, we will cover the proper procedure to track the conveyor. First, check the snubber pulley is secure and square. Make sure the bearing blocks are equally positioned in the slotted holes on both sides. To check conveyor tracking, the conveyor must be running. Make sure spinners are turned off by unplugging the PWM spinner valve harness. Start the engine, turn on the controller, and engage the hydraulics. Run the conveyor in manual mode at a low speed. Now visually check for proper tracking. It is not unusual for the conveyor to track slightly off of center, but if the conveyor is contacting either sill, then adjustments must be made. Increase the conveyor speed while monitoring how the conveyor is tracking. Continue increasing conveyor speed and monitoring conveyor tracking until the conveyor is running at maximum speed, approximately 50 conveyor shaft RPM. If the conveyor is not tracking properly at the front pulley, adjustments are made using the front adjusting bolts. If the conveyor is too far to the left, tighten the left-hand adjusting bolt. If the conveyor is too far to the right, tighten the right-hand adjusting bolt. Important, when tracking the conveyor, never loosen the front adjusting bolts. Make adjustments in small increments of only 1 wrench flat at a time. After making adjustments, run the conveyor at high speed for several minutes, as this gives the conveyor time to respond to those adjustments. Continue to run the conveyor at a high speed while monitoring conveyor tracking. Again, making minor adjustments as needed. If the conveyor is not tracking properly at the rear drive pulley, adjustments are made using a single adjusting bolt located at the right rear bearing block. Loosen the adjusting bolt jam nut and turn the adjusting bolt as needed to track the conveyor on the rear drive pulley. Continue to make small adjustments as needed. When the conveyor is tracking properly, tighten all adjusting bolt jam nuts.